Ah, convocation. One of my favorite times of year, Sheridan thought as she stepped through the doorway into the university's Fine Arts Auditorium. The noise in the room nearly deafened her as hundreds of professors greeted each other after summers spent traveling, researching, and doing whatever it was professors did between spring and fall semesters. Her gaze scanned restlessly over the crowd. Where is he? Michael never misses a responsibility, so he must be here. Eventually, she found her former professor and mentor and current colleague sitting, as usual, near the rest of the English faculty, but somehow separated from them, as though not really sure he deserved to be part of the group. She walked directly to him and sat down, leaning over him to give him a friendly hug, which he returned. Ah, his embrace is so warm and lovely. I wish I could stay in his arms forever. She noticed he didn't rush to let go of her either, and the hug lingered unusually long. She smiled. This isn't going to be so hard. The thought immediately revealed itself for the lie it was as her stomach swooped. How have you been? She asked, taking in his dearly missed appearance. As always, his clothes fit poorly, hanging too loose and too ragged around his frame. He's probably got a pretty good physique under those rags, but I can't be sure. His shoulder-length hair hung, lank and scraggly around his face, accentuating his piercing black eyes, but it also made his beaky nose stand out. He sure isn't hot, just like Aaron always said, but I still can't make myself care. He's special. Michael shrugged at the question. Can't complain. You? Oh, well, I worked for summer session, she reminded him. He nodded, a hint of a curve lingering around one corner of his mouth. That's as much of a smile as I ever get. I'll take it. Then I went up north. My family lives in Duluth, I spent 6 weeks with them. It turns out my brothers have never grown out of teasing. She grinned at the memory. My brother Sean and his wife are expecting their 4th baby. The thought caused a pang in the vicinity of her heart. She swallowed and pushed it away. This is not the moment. Michael's cheek twitched, his response unreadable. I'm glad you had a nice visit, but I'm also glad you're back. He's glad I'm back. Yes! She cheered internally, but her voice, when she spoke, sounded demure. Thank you. It's good to be back. I can't wait for classes to start. It's still hard to believe I've achieved my life's goal of being an instructor at a public university. It seemed impossible when I was 18. Well, I remember you at 19, Michael replied, the sharpness in his eyes softening. I knew even then that you'd achieve whatever you set out to. You had the fire. I must say I approve of your choice. Despite the roar of voices swirling around them, their own conversation stilled into one of those intense silences that often rose up between them. A silence that spoke words neither of them had been able to say. This ends tonight. Again, her belly squirmed at the thought. A few moments later, their friend Dr. Devonte Jones took a seat on Sheridan's other side. The tall, well-spoken black man was adored by students and faculty alike. Sheridan considered him a dear friend. Having just returned from a summer-long work exchange in Paris, he sported new and fashionable clothing. Bonjour, he said, his low voice overflowing friendly good humor as he gave Sheridan a long, approving look. Paris was magnifique. How's life in the frozen north? Still nice so far, she replied, ignoring his appraisal. I intend to enjoy every moment of sunshine before the snow blocks us in for the next 5 months. Would anyone care to join me for a picnic and walk by the river this weekend? Hell yeah, baby, Devonte replied eagerly. I'll be there. Michael? If you want, Michael shrugged. He met her eyes, and she could see the awkward shyness hiding under his feigned nonchalance. It's a date, then, Sheridan grinned,